A Merry Christmas. This Christmas is a wild Christmas. Hello lads and ladies, and welcome back for another video. On the channel today, we're reacting to the news that Pete Wild, the 40-year-old former of Oldham Athletic, Halifax Town and Barrow, joins the COD Army as first team head coach after the sacking of Charlie Adam on Sunday the 22nd of December. A 48-hour turnaround, Fleetwood Town have a new manager. The last two appointments that Fleetwood have made have both been quick appointments. Pete Wild becomes Fleetwood Town's 7th head coach in the last 4 years. Joey Barton, Simon Grayson, Stephen Craney, Scott Brown, Lee Johnson, Charlie Adam, and Pete Wild joins the list. We're going to be giving my thoughts, but if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and please like the video as well. Let's go for 150 likes. Also subscribe. This is your home of Fleetwood Town League 1, but also League 2 content as well. So Fleetwood Town treated the supporters by an early Christmas present by appointing Pete Wild as first team manager. Pete, again, came into football at Oldham Athletic, a boyhood Oldham Athletic fan. 28 years on from being an Oldham fan, going to his first game with his dad. He mastered a win away at Fulham in the FA Cup, and I'll always remember this. It was an unbelievable day. We all play in blue in Tangerine, and the Oldham fans were unbelievable that day. And Oldham fans, phenomenal, got really behind Pete Wild. And Oldham at this time went through a lot of managers, ownership problems, struggles on the pitch, in the EFL. He gave him a bit of attacking football, gave him a bit of hope, and gave him some good victories along the way as well. Pete eventually left the football club, got his opportunity at Halifax and did really well there when you look at what he did. Noticeably at Barrow, he did a phenomenal job. He developed young players, which Fleetwood need to do. Fleetwood are a team that need to get young players in the team. You're looking at the likes of, over the years, James Hill, Jay Matete, Billy Crellin. These players that we buy for cheap from other football clubs, develop at our mercy, or players that come through our academies, the likes of Shaden Morris, the likes of James Hill, also that I've just mentioned as well. And now you're looking at this squad. Owen Davenport is another one that is slowly coming through the ranks at the football club as well. But Fleetwood over the last few years, under Charlie, under Lee Johnson, Scott Brown, Simon Grayson, Stephen Craney, all those 5 managers have had less than a 30% win record. And watching losing football isn't great, but the style of football hasn't really changed. And it's been a bit dull and drab to watch. Charlie's got a little bit better. I think that his was probably the best of that lot, if I'm honest with you. But Pete Wild comes in, and again, Fleetwood Town have been playing a 3-5-2. He predominantly has played a 3-5-2 in his career as well, especially at Barrow. He's a manager that's very passionate, loves a fist pump, likes getting, his side playing attacking football on the front foot, utilising its wing backs where Fleetwood Town haven't done so enough this year as well. And loves connecting with supporters. Very passionate, open and honest guy as well. Local to the area as well, so that must have played a part as well. His assistant Adam Temple that he knows very well as well. So we're getting a good backroom staff now as well, which is important as well. Fleetwood Town aren't a side that are in desperate need of a fix like they were last year. Fleetwood Town are 8 points off the playoffs, 8 points off relegation. It wasn't, it's a bad job that because there's a relegation looming. It's a job where, look, let's finish the season strong. Let's see if we can get into the top 10, top 12, really pull some results together, build some things in place and get his own players in. I think it's a really, really smart appointment. We've got a young manager there, but a manager that isn't going to be learning on the job. Of course, he's still young at 40. He's a year older than Charlie Adam, but he's had a lot longer in the game of coaching. You think at Oldham, that was 6 years ago. You think at Barrow, he improved Barrow from a bottom half League 2 side where, let's be honest, Fleetwood Town are at this moment in time. There's no getting away from that. Fleetwood Town have not been good enough in the last 10 games. They are bottom of the form table. The style and the form has been poor and we've been a drab watch. And I wouldn't have sacked Charlie Adam because of the injuries that we had, and I think he deserved a little bit more time. But the change has been made and I think it's an unbelievable appointment. I like Charlie, but if you offered me Charlie Adam or Pete Wild, I would pick Pete Wild because of the pedigree that he's got from what he did at Barrow. And I think that Charlie, let's be honest, if he gave him 2 more games, if he would have maybe won and drawn one, there still would have been pressure on after that as well. We just acted on it quickly. And I like the fact they've done that. I thought it was harsh, but we've got something different now. At Barrow, look, he did a really good job there for a couple of seasons. He started last season really well, and they were fighting. They were doing it, really well, and, they were in contention of the playoffs. The last 12, 15 games, they faded away. They maybe struggled to adapt, a couple of injuries, maybe no plan B at times as well, which has been story of Fleetwood season. We've got one way of playing, and we didn't really mix it up. You look at now at Barrow, he did a really good job. And Barrow, that squad, to finish in the, I think, 8th and 9th the last couple of seasons as well, to push for the playoffs, for Barrow's budget, the size of the club, the size of, what you expect from them, the expectation of the football club, I think it's a good job. And overall, he did well. Barrow fans will look at it a little bit differently because how he ended, because he, managed to judge on results. In the last 12, 15 games, it wasn't good enough. He left the football club. And maybe there was an expectation for Pete Wild to go somewhere else. He's been out of the game for 6, 7 months now, learning, adapting. Fleetwood Town need a fresh start, need to keep a manager now in place for a couple of years. And Pete Wild gives me that approach where he's going to need maybe 3 or 4 transfer windows to get this right. He's got the January window. That's not a small window, a bit like Charlie Adam had, but then in the summer to rebuild. I think he needs at least 18 months to get what he wants to go for a full season. So I would be giving Pete Wild 2.5 years, and hopefully in that 2.5 years we can push to get out of this division. Because yes, Fleetwood Town aren't the same club as we once were, with the money that we once had, and the budget we once had, the ambition we once had, but there should be an ambition there to get out of this league. And if you give Pete Wild the opportunity and the players and his budget to do so, we can definitely do so. What do we expect? A 3-5-2, a side that gets through the lines very quickly, gets crossed into the box, wins a lot of 1 and 2-0s, especially away from home as well. Has a lot of passion, has a lot of energy, plays moving again. Because the players on Saturday and on Monday night, the body language, they weren't moving for the ball, they struggled, they weren't kind of chasing after the ball as they once were for Charlie. That won't happen, I don't think, under Pete Wild. Lucky man gets Christmas off. Oh, yeah, you're into a new job. You have Christmas off. You chill out with the family, come back in. But no, he will be at the game on Boxing Day as well. And I'm looking forward to watching a Pete Wild Fleetwood Town. And I think overall the jobs he did at Halifax and Barrow are good jobs. He's loved and adored at Oldham Athletic. He's a fan of theirs as well. And he's been through the ranks. He's pretty much done every single job, and looks a young man there as well. And he's developed over recent years as well. Appointment overall, out of all the names I wanted, Pete Wild would have been number 1. After that, the names Liam Richardson, Phil Parkinson. No disrespect to these managers, Dino Maria. They didn't really stand out like a Pete Wild does. If you offered Pete Wild to 15 to 18 clubs in League 2 over their current manager, I think they'd probably take him. I really do. There's maybe probably only 6, 7 managers that you think, probably better than Pete Wild on what they've done in the game. But overall, great appointment. Really happy with it. Fleetwood Town have acted quickly. They've got a manager in. I thought they would, because the statement the other day was a nice statement, and it was to the point, and he never mentioned how long it might take, and if anyone's going to be in charge on Boxing Day, that's now been appointed as Matt Lawler and Nathan Pond in charge. Again, it's going to be interesting to see that dynamic as well. Matt Lawler was in charge of a game last year against Tranmere in the cup. We won 2-0. Hopefully the same against Chesterfield on Boxing Day. But why would Pete Wild come to Fleetwood? People see Fleetwood Town as a small non-league club with money. Over the years, Fleetwood Town has one of the best training grounds in League 1 and League 2. It's an £8 million to £10 million facility. Category B academy. You've got a dome. You've got a gym. You've got elite pitches as well. You've got, good facilities to do your team talks in as well. Your press. A nice location as well. It's a small club. It's a community club as well, so you're not going to be bombarded by supporters all the time if you're going through bad patches as well. The fans are quite understanding, I think, at Fleetwood as well. Most of the times, I try to be. Sometimes I can get a bit too intense. But also as well, it's a brilliant place to work and learn as well for him. Location base is perfect, and also our ambition fits his ambition as well. And I'm glad he gets to see the club for what it is, and hopefully that he leads the club onward together. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. Please remember to like and subscribe. We're on the road to 17,000 subscribers. I need your help. Press like, press subscribe. Again, I hope you have a lovely Christmas. And we'll be having some videos after Christmas as well. But again, here's a Christmas Eve special for you that I didn't think would happen. Pete Wild is a new Fleetwood Town manager up the Cods.